Diggers. We're back again, and we're back in our new digs for a minute. So today, what we're gonna do is a repurposed tin in process. So we're not gonna get to a finished product today, but I'm gonna show you what I'm using. So for a repurposed tin, you obviously need a tin. So this is just a tin that I had at home. It's large and flat. And what I'm going to be creating is something that can hold flat things that I can hold in my purse. You can choose like an Altoid tin. Other kinds of mint tins or candy tins are also good for the same kind of project. Just a little something that you could maybe like make, instead of having a change purse, you could use something for a change purse. Some place to keep loose change, but you can make it cute. All right, so the first thing we're going to need, and if you are paying attention to all of our thinkers, we're basically using kind of the same things and creating different things or repurposing different things. That's on purpose. That's not an accident. And it is just so that we, so you can get a feel for creating different things using obviously the same materials, but you can decoupage many surfaces, as you well know, and I love me some decoupage. But also you can create keepsakes and memories from lots of different things. And so yeah, it's a little repetitive, but I think it's fun and also relaxing. So we're gonna need some magazines here. First thing, glue. And again, you don't have to have decoupage glue. It can be school glue. Remember, you can thin it out with a little water. Scissors and accessories. I am back again with, you know, some of my 3D stickers that I love. And this time I am going to show you a bit of the process for decoupaging a tin. Just because it can get a little tricky, because you know you have raised surfaces. So I did want to show you a bit of that. But again, we're not going to finish this project together. So I want you to just go with me through a bit of this process. And I look forward to you guys possibly, hopefully, dropping in and showing me some of your ideas. So here's what I did. I went ahead and cut out some things to match my top, as you can see, and I just laid it on there. I like things to have a little bit of overlay because I like to lay it down with the glue so that it looks smooth. The other thing that I like to do is create my own color palette. Obviously, I chose this because it's got lots of different colors. And what I will do after this is layer on more solitary things, like if there's a bouquet of flowers that you like, if there's a butterfly or something that you like, an eyeball even, you know, that you just love the way it looks, you can cut around that. So the more layering you do, the better your collage or your decoupage is going to look on your tin. So here we go. Need a flat brush. And by flat, I just mean that it looks like this and it's flat and it's gonna lay on the glue a lot more than a round would. So, and get it a little bit wet. Also have on hand some paper towels. And I'm just going to, since I have such a little thing of glue, I'm gonna do it right on there. And I'm gonna go ahead and just layer it up. Now, what I'm going to caution you to make sure you do is for each one of the layers that you create with images on your tin, you're going to want to put glue. So you're going to glue the actual top of your tin and the actual piece of magazine that you're using on top of it. So I know it seems like a lot of glue, but it makes it lay down the best when you do it this way. And this is not even all the gluing we're going to do on there. So you got that, and you're going to go ahead and press I will say, be ready to be messy. Get in your messy clothes. And since I have a raised portion, I'm going to burnish it is the word, with my hand a lot because I kind of want that to stand out. I don't know if the camera can catch that, but I'm going to try. Can you just lay that in there? I kind of want that to still pop out because then I can put a centerpiece in there. So notice how that laid down really well though, and it's because on both sides there was glue. So here's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to go down the side. Now I have a very thin side here, but I'm hitting like the paper and the side. And I'm going to go ahead and burnish that with my fingers and lay that down. So every time you lay in more glue, you want to just make sure you get both sides, the paper side and the tin side, so that you don't have to fuss with the paper. If you've ever seen somebody who's done a decoupage project and it's got lots of wrinkles in it, a lot of times it's either too heavy a paper, and I will say that, choose the thinnest paper you can find. That's probably the best. More paper-like and less of the slick feeling. And I know that might be hard these days, but old magazines will have thinner newsprint kind of paper. That's really the thickness you want to go through. Now, I'm not going to say stay away from the thicker paper, but just know it's going to take a little more glue and a little more patience on your part. If you can handle that, go for it. So, you can see it's laying it down. So, I'm also going to go in the back here, get those crevices. And I don't want to do the hinge there. You can see that. So I'm going to lay this down, and I did hit the paper with that, with my glue, and I'm just going ahead. And here's the corner. I just like to lay down the edge like that and then lay it over top of itself. So that's kind of a tight spot. I don't know if you can see that. But once you get this all laying as flat as you possibly can, and I'm going to work out a little bubble here because I missed a little glue. No worries. You can always go back and get it to lay down better. So there. Now, that's a little better. Once you get it to lay the way you want it to, and you can see already it's conforming to my tin the way I want it to. I'm going to tell you this, I am going to leave this up because I don't want to glue that in, it'll make it sticky. I don't want to make the closing and opening any more sticky than it is. So, just remember, at the end you can cut off the excess once it's all done. So, before I lay my last layer for this I'm going to go ahead and decoupage the back of this too. So, I chose multicolor for the front. I wanted to kind of cool it down a bit. And that's what I'm going to do. And notice this one is actually bigger because I don't care. I want it to overlap. So I'm going for mostly that pale blue. It's like a cookies and milk kind of thing. But I just like the color of blue that it is, along with the brown. And not all of that's going to make it on there. So, here's what I'm doing. It's a little bit. And I did put a little extra. Be careful. Don't glue your hinges. Be very careful of that. And anyways, you're going to let this dry open-faced, so as to make sure that you don't glue shut your tin. All right. Okay. Cover, cover, cover. And I did get a little zealous with the glue, but that's okay, because I'm going to do a little bit more working with this this one, because I didn't measure it so much, because I didn't really I didn't really care where it landed. I just wanted mostly the blue. Because again, remember, this is not how this is going to look in the end. I'm going to cover it with more. These are just my first tier of my designs. All right, so you got to leave a little hangover, or a lot. And this is smoother, so this will go a little better. So when you burnish that, it's going to go down a little easier. So, oh, I didn't do that. I didn't do the thing I told you. So I'm going to go back. And now that I have a kind of an area, I'm going to put glue on there all the way out. A bigger surface area than I need so that it for sure will cover the tin, sides and all. All right. So now I'm going to do that again. And since the glue, you know, it's not going to glue right, it's not going to dry right away. You can always take up what you've done if you've forgotten to glue your put glue on your paper. You really do. That is the one thing I will say. It will save you so much trouble in the end with your design. Make sure to put it on both surfaces. Put it on the tin and then put it also on your paper. And then lay it down and you can smooth it out. Now, if you don't care so much about the smoothing, don't worry about this. I obviously am caring. So, I do want it to be smooth. So, and then I'm going to just fold it so I can see where it lands. And then do that again. So I have some idea of how much excess I can cut off. All right. So there, that's what we've got going. So now I can cut, make this a little better. I'm sure I'm going to have to trim again. So just get set for that. You're not, the first trim is not going to be the last trim. Don't get bothered by that. And there's that. And there's that. I'll do a little more off here. Alright. So, you see what I mean? So now there's still a little bit, but that's much more manageable. And burnish away. Get it to lay down. And again, make sure you have glue on both sides. That is the thing. Okay. And you see how my ends are sticking out? I'm going to try this thing. I'm going to do this a little differently this time. I'm going to cut at the corners like that. Cut at those corners. And I'm going to pull that up a little bit because I can see that I have, they're going to go into my hinges and I don't want that. Go ahead and cut that. Okay. All right. So now I can burnish it back down and it'll be good. So, and you can see these are a little bit harder when you get close to the back and where you're going to have your hinges. But go ahead and cut as much as you can off without closing it. You don't want to close it right now. Too much glue going on. And then go ahead and trim. And again, if you are into precision measuring, knock yourself out. I am not. So that is why I'm okay with the trimming. And there we have it. Now, this is literally our first pass at repurposing this tin. So you got your front, you got your back. You can burnish, burnish, burnish. This will lay a little flatter once it's all dry. But we are not done. This is just the doing of the front and the back. So here's what we're going to do. And this, I wanted to show you this because this is exactly what you want to do. Every time you finish a layer, you go right ahead and put more of the decoupage or the glue onto your surface. And you do want this to do, you do want to do this because it makes it a tougher surface and less likely to come off. Now, there's a little bit here that I'm going to let dry just like that, and when it's all dry, then I'm going to trim it because this will get hard. The surface, for those of you who have decoupage and for those of you who haven't, it turns really sturdy. The more you do it, the more coats you have, the better and more sturdy and longer lasting your repurposing is. Okay? And your decoration and your design. And also, if it's going to be in a place like a purse, you want it to be able to stand up to being knocked around a lot. My purse is no place to be if you are not tough. So, yeah. So I want as many coats of this on as possible. So every time you layer on more images, you're going to redo this thing. Now, as you get to the last design, obviously you're going to do that again. See that in there where we cut? You want that to lay down. So I'm going to put a little glue at the edge there. And then I'm going to just like glue, glue, glue. Glue, glue, glue over it. All right. And then we're just going to do that. Any place that looks too sticky to get into, you can wait until it hardens and then trim. So I've done that with this edge, and that's what I'm doing. And you can lay that down. So basically, now you are finished with the first layer. So I'm going to lay this flat out, obviously upside down, like this, to dry. Actually, yeah, I'm going to put something in there so that the hinges don't go together. But that's where we are in our process for repurposing this tin. All right, guys, remember, use your glue, layer, or put your glue on the tin itself, put it on your paper, and then burnish, and then put the glue on the whole layer. And keep layering up until you're finished with your design. All right.